Welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, for the 10th millionth time. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, I'm so excited about starting swim lessons next week, and my clients, especially my returning ones, are super excited. But you guys, I can't film. They continue to talk or call, or which I'm so grateful for. They continue to call or message, and of course the people that are returning, like, I love talking to them. When you work as closely as you do with families like I do, and you work with fear, and you get close to them and they become like your family. So I really love my clients and their children, so I always want to talk and see how they're doing. But anyway, sorry, sidetracked. So today's video is going to be about my planner routines. This is probably going to be a long one. So to me, it's evening right now. Holla, it's wine time when it's evening time. I've been so busy today, you guys. I've been cleaning and tidying and preparing for swim lessons, so I'm just so pumped. Anyway, routines. I have a monthly, weekly, and daily, and then I have this little post-it for things I need to add for when I make the cards again, because I made these on Word. They're my own. I really needed them to be personal for me. I'm also need to refill. I'm adding to make sure to check each day my finance pages and my business cards, because they go fast. Okay, and then also my inbox. Yeah. Anyway, so this is where my daily routines are. I usually have them in like an insert. All the past years, I've just kind of had them written down on a poster and an insert. But I actually did the task cards. A, it looks nice and neat. B, I don't know, it's pretty. But mostly because they're in the front right there, and they do kind of jumpstart my day and keep me focused. That's why I also have my goals in the front. But let's start with monthly routines. So from every month, I need to go through and purge unnecessary inserts, which ties into print and replace. So because this is rings, it can only hold so much, and the way I do things, I chunk my baby up. They are 30 millimeter rings, so it does hold a lot, but I can fit about 3 months with weekly and dailies in here. And everything else just stays the same. I don't really purge anything else unless but maybe my Bible section. But yeah, so I'll kind of go and show you how it works, because I have a couple of new things in here. So I need to do those each month, and then process incomplete tasks. Now, processing tasks and migrating tasks are very different to me. Well, not very different, but they have different purposes. So for me, migrating a task like daily are mundane, like okay, make your bed, okay, cook, bake something, or something that I didn't get to, but I just, without thinking about it or putting a thought to it, I just move it to the next day. Now when I process tasks, it's well thought out. Like, I think about, okay, do I truly need to do it? Is it crunch time and it needs to become a next action? It's that kind of idea. So I do it monthly, because by the end of the month, although I process it weekly, by the end of the month, I may have a full list and need to really reconsider and break it up into different weeks. It's a process. When I do my monthly plan with me, I will go through all that with you, one at a time. Next thing is to set up all my trackers. So in my personal section, I have a ton of trackers. I love tracking. I used to not, and we had a really wonderful live 2 nights ago, and someone actually asked me about tracking, like, how do you start routines and tracking? I'm like, okay, I used to hate tracking, okay, could not do it. But what I ended up doing is I tried the Hobonichi Weeks a few years back, and that really got me into tracking, because I had only so much space. right? And I would use the grid page. You'd have the week on one page and then the grid. I would use that for tracking. So I learned how to like track weekly, and I found that tracking weekly was much easier than trying to do a full-on month tracker. So when you start tracking, I highly suggest, or what worked for me was starting small and not so much. Like, I have a lot of different tracking going on, and I'm going to go through that with you, but I definitely, you ease yourself into it. So anyway, every month I go through, I change out my income tracker, which is a little monthly here, that basically gives me my income for each and every day, like the total amount that I make each day, and then the total amount I spend. So it's color coded green and red. And then this is more detailed, like whether I get the money from swim lessons, or if I spend it on whatever, or if I spend it on bills, or if I put it into savings. So that's what this says. And then I have my bill tracker. All this stuff gets fixed up for the month. This does not, it kind of stays there. This is in my finance section because it's like waiting on like anything I buy. This is my workout, so that doesn't really, it's kind of a daily thing. And then the other tracker I set up is my self-care, and this is a blank one because I set it up for June. So I'll go through all my trackers in another video, and then I check my period, and then I set up my sleep and mood tracker. So that is what I set up each month. And I also check off my deep extra clean, like my odds and ends monthly cleaning, like things like polishing my wood utensils, like because you really need to polish them and let them dry in the sun to keep it, you know, that kind of stuff. And then I check my zone cleaning to make sure I have done it at least each one at least once for that month, because you, in a way, I pick one per week. Now that does not include, just gonna throw this out, I'm gonna talk about this in my weekly routine. I'll explain this. But yeah, I do check this at the end of the month to make sure that I've done at least one deep clean for each category, for each zone. Okay? I hope that made sense. And then I do write my pros and cons. So my pros and cons is also in my personal section in the self-care tracker. It's going to be right here. So basically each month I want to write down the any of the wins that I have, even if they're very, very small. Like, for example, if I actually successfully film and post once a week, which has come naturally to me recently, which is good, but that would be a win. Or sticking with my Bible study every day is a win. And then things I want to work on, for example, continuing on my weight loss, slow down wine, whatever it may be. It's just examples. All right, so that covers my monthly tracking or routines, my monthly routines. Now my weekly routines are a little more in depth. Process and complete tasks. Like I mentioned, process is different. It's things that I truly need to think about. I go through each week I go through my daily pages and look for the highlighted tasks. Let's see. This is this week. Yeah, I go through and check if tasks were not complete, the highlighted tasks, see if it's something that I need to tie over to the next week, or if I can just kind of forget about it and rewrite in the dailies as needed. It's that kind of thing. Whatever needs to be done weekly. So, for example, whatever list of things I want to accomplish in my month, I can go through that list, because I do have like a to-do list for a month, things I want to accomplish within that month, which would be in my monthlies, like here on the list of my monthlies. I'll take it to my weeklies and break it up in the week, like whatever it may be. So this is this week. Pretty crazy. I'll put it up here. You see? So each week when I go to process, I go through all of this. I look through here, see if it's anything I need to process to the next week. I move to the following week. Yeah, all that jazz. Also, if I need to process any finances to the finances page, financials tracking, because like I said, sometimes weekly is much easier than monthly. So if I just kind of need to jot down amount or whatever real quick, like if whatever I spend, I'll put there, or whatever bills I pay. Okay, so that's what that is. And then wins and losses, wins, or positive, negative, whatever. Same idea as the monthly. Is just basically whatever I accomplished for a week, no matter how small, I write it down. Versus the whatever I want to work on, I do it in a week review, which I'll either use my B6 to do that, or just a piece of paper, or it depends on how I want to do it. I honestly have been, it goes into like my self-care, and this is like a full month, you see, so I'll process it here. Okay, then, or migrate it there, and then set up my cleaning routine. So what I was mentioning, go into my cleaning tab here. So this is monthly, but it's also weekly. This is my monthly cleaning. I have to check this off monthly to make sure I accomplish some of those, But this is my zone cleaning. So this is deep cleaning. Like, it covers every little bit. My weekly cleaning list, the thing I set up weekly, is more of a maintenance for the house. It's things I need to maintain every week to keep the house looking nice, but it's not really thoroughly deep cleaning. Now, I can pick, for example, a zone. Like this week, it was the front rooms, where I dust and oil the furniture, wash the sheets in the daybed in the front, wipe down baseboards, clean the mirrors, wipe down, anything, carpet powder, vacuum, clear off the table. My front room is our living space and our dining room and my writing desk. So there's a lot of old wood and carpet up there. So that's what I do weekly, is more of a cleaning maintenance. So I fill one of these out as well. And then weekly focus. So my weekly focus is basically whatever I need to work on to better myself spiritually or strengthen my family. So the past few weeks, my main focus is to listen to my daughter more and my husband, because I tend to like cut them off and be like, I am right, I'm a mom. And usually, to be honest, I am right. But anyway, this week, my focus has been listening with patience, just actually letting them finish their sentence and like wait for it, no matter how frustrated I get. So that's what a weekly focus is. I pick whatever is needed. It usually comes from like my Bible studies or whatnot back here. Client grace calls. Okay, client grace calls. I really can't show you anything in my work section, but basically, in my work section, I check my client list and check the week and who's scheduled, and see if they have paid or not on time. So client grace calls are basically giving them a call or a text saying, hey, you need to make your payment, or I'm taking you off the schedule. Do you still want to continue with lessons, or are you able to pay at this time? Do you need an extension? That kind of thing. That happens weekly. And then processing my inbox. So basically going through here and processing the pages, anything I may have missed. I have notes in here too. It's like just like a catch-all notebook, really. Just going through here and processing the pages, which end up getting an X at the bottom, so I know that it's been done. And then meal plan. So my meal plan is actually back here. I do my meal plan during the summer. I do it bi-weekly because I'm so incredibly busy, and I only really have the weekends to do house stuff and things like that. So I plan the bi-weekly, but each week I check and see if we have all the ingredients that we need for each of the meals, and I just put it here on this little Tomoe River paper. I'm obsessed with Tomoe River paper calendar here, and this way I'm able to see it right away, and all the important stuff is up here in the front. Okay, so now going to my daily routines. This is the fun stuff. Migrate incomplete tasks. So basically, each day I set up my daily pages, and then I migrate the night before to the next day. So like these highlighted items, I'll move on to the next day here. So for example, I need to do my scheduling board. I'm going to do this after that. Clean out trash in the car. I have not done that yet. Post video of detailed routines. I'm doing that now, so I can check that off. And so what I'll do is go back and go check. So I'll know when I process these pages that they have been completed. Okay. Now, I also need to set up my time, block my time or whatnot. Do my spiral decks. I went ahead and did this live, but I stamped out my daily pages already, so I don't have to do that, but I do need to put in the appointments and things like that, and which aren't too many right now. Next week's gonna be crazy. Then my happy tracker, which goes to the weekly. Each week I set my weekly pages up weekly, okay? But I do check this daily. I check my trackers that I showed you in the front, my sleep mood trackers, and my self-care, which I also do. So any of the tracking I do daily. Now, another thing that you'll see is Bible study and kind words. That is in my Bible section. And I need to add prayer requests too, but I have a prayer list that's super important, and that's something I want to do daily, is to pray for the people on the list. But I'll show you what I was talking about. So I do my gratitude every day. I do a kind word every day. Basically, kind words are telling myself something good, like being nice to myself. I am the worst person to me. Like, I am hard on me. So this is a way for me to truly be kind to myself, and I've been doing it for a couple weeks, and it's been working. I've been feeling better about myself. So for example, today is you are kind and caring for those in need. And then I'm thankful for God's strength. That is today. And then here I do a thought for the day, which comes with the Bible study, and then a prayer for the day. So for today, it's, Dear Father, remind us that through your power we can overcome all worldly hurdles to minister to others. And that's mostly what my Bible section is. Excuse the noise, y'all. I keep it all kind of together. That's something that I've learned that I actually enjoy, is keeping. I like the separate sections for each category, I guess you could say, but I like keeping like the weeks together. That's something that I've developed with the Stayology. So like, for example, this month, I guess you could say, I'll have right behind the May gratitude all of May pages, and then for June I'll have all of June pages on this side. So I'll have it separated with a little tag that says June. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes. One of the things I need to add to my routines is checking my pool inventory. I do have inventory sheets back here, inserts back here, where I will check my inventory weekly, so that's something I need to add. So I'll add it here so I can make my task cards again. Full inventory. I don't even have weekly pages written on there, which is crazy because that's like the main thing. Next thing are my daily pages, things that I add to my daily pages. It's not really a routine per se, but it is something I do daily. This just reminds me what I actually have on my daily pages. And I believe that is all for my routines. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will say monthly, I just kind of go as it comes. Like all these things are, it's pre-planning, so there's not much of a routine. It's literally when it comes. And then my personal section is my most used section. It has a lot of different subcategories for tracking. So I have like, for example, I have my kind word is going to be moved here. I forgot about that. And then weather tracking, self-care, positive, negatives, and then AM affirmations, morning affirmations. So yeah. Anyway, that is my routine. I'm going to do a couple of more videos breaking each of my sections down and how I use them. If you're interested in that, comment or give this video a thumbs up. And until next time, I love you so much. Bye.